everybody, and welcome to my channel. This is Leslie. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to be working with the Glitter Girl collection from Chamel today, and I have been hoarding this collection for ages, and I finally decided to use it. And the photo that I'm going to be scrapping is obviously going to be of Emma, as I've decided that I will be using this collection to scrap photos of Emma, random photos of Emma, from the age of about 2.5 to 6. And this photo is of her lying on the bed, my bed, playing with her little Playmobil. And that is a cardboard castle that she's playing with, and the little Playmobil characters came with the little castle. So guess what I am going to be making for this layout? I am going to be doing a paper pieced castle. So there I'm looking up on my phone for a castle that I would like to sort of work from, and that is it. So that is how easy it is. You just go to Google and you type in whatever, I don't know, image you want to paper piece, and then you just copy it. And the thing is that you make it your own in any case, so you're not going to use this exact, the exact copy of the piece that you are working from Google. So I'm going to be using this spotty page. Now, I'm not sure why I chose this page. Maybe it was because it was so colorful. But yes, I'm going to be using the spotty page. Now, I don't even go in with my pencil to draw the pieces in that I'm going to be using. I basically just wing it with my scissors. And this castle still turned out pretty nice. So you guys, it's not rocket science to paper piece. You don't have to be a fabulous animator. You don't have to do any funky techniques. You just have to have the idea in your head, and then it is very easy to just paper piece the thing together. And this layout turned out fabulous. So it really is quite easy. So I'm going to be using my Chamel Glitter Girl project pad for this. So this is one of the sheets. This dark blue is one of the sheets that comes at the end at the back of the project pad. So it's very handy because it's the exact blue that I need. So I thought that this would be perfect just to give those bits of the castle an outline so that it stands out a bit more, because that spotty paper is a bit blue. Now looking at it, not blue, it's a bit busy. Now looking at it, I'm thinking, why did I use the spotty paper? Maybe I just felt spotty that day, I'm not sure. I think if I have to make it today, I would choose a different piece of paper, pattern paper. But anyway, it still turns out fabulous. So I'm going to be just using that blue as a sort of an outline for my castle. And as you can see, I'm basically really just winging it. I'm not going in with a pencil at all. I'm just winging it, and it turns out fabulous. So I decided I'm going to leave in all of this that I'm doing now. I did speed it up 4 times the speed, so otherwise this video was over an hour long. Would be over an hour long if I didn't. So I decided to leave in my whole process so that you could see exactly how my brain works when I am paper piecing. And it's not something I do very often, but it's something I really like to do. It takes a while. It depends on how big the pieces that you want to paper piece, but it does take quite a while to do this. So do you guys also hoard collections, or do you use the collection as you receive the collection? Do you use it up, or do you guys, like me, I mean, I hoarded this. I've got the whole collection, all the little dots, all the bits and pieces and the ephemera. I've got everything in this collection, and I've hoarded it for just this purpose, to scrap photos of Emma. So do you guys hoard, or Do you guys use the collections as they come in, and then you finish a collection and then you move on to the next? That would be quite interesting to find out, because I sit with so many collections at the moment. I get bored. So you'll see, I scrap a photo, or I use this collection, and then for the next video I'll scrap a different photo with a different collection. So I do get bored quite easily. You must see what my desk looks like at the moment. I've got Pick Me Up from Paige Evans on top of Splendor from Webster's Pages, next to a lot of Echo Park school stuff. Yeah, and on the other side of my desk I've got just a big heap of photos that I need to get through, all my kids' school photos. So it's just easier for me to go and grab the little bits that I want to scrap if I just keep them on my desk. I don't usually. I try to clean up my desk straight after I do a layout. I try to clean it up completely so that it's just a bare desk, and then I start from scratch. But lately I've been quite bad at it. So, so there you'll see I'm just cutting in the little turrets at the top of the castle. And as you know, as I said, I don't use a pencil, I just wing it. And I think that is the fun with paper piecing, is to just, you know, it's not going to be perfect. You know, I have paper pieced where I used pencils before, like I did a fox, you know, a couple of months ago. I think at the beginning of the year I made a layout with a poem that my son wrote. I made a fox. I'll link at the end of the video. I'll post the video at the end of the video so that you can see that's how I paper pieced that. So it's just different techniques. I used more of an animation technique with the fox, where I sort of constantly go back to the original drawing, and then I sort of flip the paper over it and I go back. I hope that makes sense. It didn't make sense for me in my head when I just said that. I know what I want to say, but it's not coming out. So I hope that made sense. I'll link you guys to that video, and then you can just go and have a look at how I paper pieced that video. The fox is a lot more precise than the castle, obviously. I did draw the fox before the time. I didn't. I think I did use a Google image. However, I did change the fox quite a lot because I wanted to make the fox my own. So I wanted to make it my own. But you'll see, I did draw the fox before the time, and then I just paper pieced over it. So yeah, there's different techniques. I know Elsie does a lot of paper piecing as well. That's her thing. Who else does paper piecing? Lisa Fonseca does paper piecing. She does amazing paper piecing as well. So there's lots, you know, of ladies that does this. It's not rocket science. It's not, you know, it's a very popular technique. If you don't have a silhouette machine, it's not the end of the world. You can still make these gorgeous little aspects and little bits for your layouts. You don't need a silhouette machine per se. So yeah, I remember doing lots of paper piecing before I had my silhouette. I made a pirate ship for one layout, and quite a lot. I made I think for the first layout last year I made, while I was on the paper issues design team, I think for my very first layout I made a paper aeroplane. Yeah, I don't have a YouTube video for that. I didn't have YouTube then when I made that layout. But yeah, so it's, you know, I've been doing it for years and years and years. It's gone quite popular at the moment, paper piecing. So I think it's just a different technique. You get the mixed media, and then you get the mixed media mixed with the regular scrapbooking, and then, you know, you get the paper pieces, and then you get the silhouette, the people that work with the silhouette, that does the cut file backing. you know, and all of that. So and then you get the traditional scrapbooking where you sort of divide your page into quadrants, and you know, you have multiple photos on your layout, and it's so wonderful to see all the different styles of scrapbooking come together, and it's fun. I'm subscribed to well, countless ladies, I think, on YouTube. I think I'm subscribed to everybody, scrapbooking wise, and I love watching how different ladies scrapbook. I'm subscribed to quite a few Russian ladies as well, and the way that the Russian ladies, the ladies that I watch, the way that they scrapbook is very reminds me of Prima marketing, with the flowers and the mixed media and the layering and layering and layering. I mean, you can basically have 4 layouts per album because of the amount of layering that they use. And obviously I don't do that. That's not something I'm like crazy about, all that insane layering, with the, you know, where you sort of have roses and wood veneer and chipboard and all of that put together, and then you paint over it, and then you paint gold on it, and you sprinkle gold on it, and you put glitter, and I mean, it turns out beautiful. I think those ones are, for me, in my head, that's sort of like a memory box type thing that you hang on your wall. I would be quite sad to put that in an album, you know, something like that. Where it's kept in an album and it's not really looked at every day. That's sort of like more like an art piece, in my opinion. But this is the way I scrapbook, and this is how I found my brain works best, and what's more stimulating for me, really. You know, I love working with paper in any case. It's my favorite thing. Anything to do with paper, different kinds of papers, and so yeah, so I would really like to know how you guys scrap with your collections. Drop me a comment below. It would be interesting to see if you guys hoard as well, or if you scrap, finish, and then you go on to the next one, scrap, finish. So you can see that I've now finished my castle, and I put the castle, the entire thing, on a white piece of paper. That was just plain textured white cardstock from American Crafts, and I sort of, you know, cut it out on the paper so that it's just all nicely held together, and so I can move it around as one piece on my layout. And I'm going to be sticking it down with some wet glue. There's already a lot of dimension in there for me, because I popped up the little roofs of the towers and the little turrets. I popped those up as well. I'm also just going to be popping up that side of my photo, as the right side of my photo overlaps on one of the turrets that is popped up on some foam squares. So I do have this sticker book, this Chamel sticker book, and there's loads of these clear stickers, and I'm going to be using those. I haven't really used any of my Chamel sticker book yet, because I obviously put it with this collection to hoard it. So you'll see I'm going to be using quite a lot from the sticker book as well, just to embellish around the castle. So it is a very busy layout. It's a very colorful layout, but then again, you know, Emma is very busy and she's very colorful as well. So this just went perfectly. And the fact that she's playing with a castle and I made a castle, that just worked out perfectly for me. So I'm putting a clear sticker there on the bottom left-hand corner of the photo. There's a bit of empty white space, and the pink color matched the little tutu skirt she had on. So I thought that would be quite cute if I put that there. I'm going to be using this little strip, this little bit of sticker, and I'm going to be cutting little flags out of it, because I don't have any more flags left in this sticker book. So I'm just going to be making teeny tiny little blue flags for the top of the little roofs of the castle, of the towers. I'm going to be using my Sharpie there, to draw some doodly lines around the photo, just so that it stands out a little bit more and a little better. Very messy doodly lines. You can see there, it's very messy, but it looks fine in the end. And I'm going to be using those little tiny alphas, teeny tiny little alphas, just to write the word magic. And that's also just to cover an empty space in the photo. There's lots of empty space in this photo, or just redundant space, space that, you know, it's not the best background, you know, the bed where she's sitting on. So I just wanted to cover that up a little bit more. And there you see I add some more stickers to the photo. And there's not really a lot more to this layout. I do use those little dots, and they remind me of little enamel dots. I love the colors. They all match perfectly, obviously, and I'm going to be sticking those dots all around the castle. Now I'm going to be using those little stars, the gold stars as well, just to sort of embellish around the castle. And I was thinking to use this word sparkle as my title. Now it's very flimsy. I wish that they made it with just a bit of a thicker sticker paper, but it works. It's very flimsy, and I decided to just stick it right there on the middle of the castle, sort of overlapping the photo, and that word says sparkle. And while I was making this, I realized you don't really see the word that well, because some of the word overlaps with a yellow dot, so the gold sort of gets lost on top of that yellow orangey dot. So I am going to bring in something else that also says sparkle, and you'll see that in a bit. So these are little those little hearts that I'm getting stuck there. Those are from Doodlebug, and that is the little shaker bit. It's a yellow star that says sparkle, so it sort of just reiterates the fact that this layout is all about sparkling. So this is it for this layout. I'm going to do finally just my little very messy doodly border, and that is it. If you liked what you saw today, please give this video a like, and I would love to hear your comments in the comment section. I do respond to most of my comments, and I do love reading all the comments. So please give this video a like. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It would be great to have you. And I will see you again soon. Bye.